and this is gonna sound very crazy, I'd rather my woman have more respect for me than love for me. And
so say that again? More respect.
I'd rather a woman have more respect for me than love for me.
We're not having that discussion, you see what I'm saying? And this is why I say it's taboo, because it's like, okay, when you sit down with someone, let's say you have intentions with someone, yeah, you do want to know, can you take care of this and can you take care of that? And you want to know on the flip side. So we have to understand each other's situation. For example, if you're buying something with someone, you want to know that their credit can afford that. So you have to have these certain discussions, you see what I'm saying? And in scenarios where you're doing things together, there can be situations where you might have to...
Wait, one second.
Hold on, before that one, we got a question.
Okay. You got questions, to be honest. So the guy that say to you, what's your credit score?
Say that again.
You said if you buy something together, you gotta know if your credit can afford it. So if you go on a date and the guy say, what's your score?
So wait.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you. Are you not jumping into a... Wait, hold on. So you're getting into a situation with someone, not knowing what their credit score is?
That's a big
Can I answer? Basically, a lot of people don't have real conversations, so they're linking gal and they're both dickheads. Sorry, I'll say it like this here. So things like, you see, we need to understand, I went on a date one time and one girl asked me what my blood type was. But I didn't know what the answer was. So the reason why she asked me, because I had medical history, her family's medical history, like sickle cell and stuff like that. And it was just a real interesting conversation. I never had that level of convo before. Because normally, I feel like we ask superficial things when we're dating. And a lot of people don't genuinely ask real questions. That's why they find out when they love somebody that they don't want kids. Or when they love somebody that they have this parenting style or this type of thing. So absolutely, it may not necessarily be the first thing you say at the table.
That's the first thing you say.
Yeah, but I mean, if it depends as well, because some people, they might not have time to waste. They could have been through that point where they're at age and they're saying, look, like, there's some questions on what do you do for a living? What do you do? When you're dating, you're collecting data. So if you're collecting data about the person, you want to know and consume as much information as possible. So I think when you're having these real life conversations, I just feel like people don't actually ask the right questions. And when you don't ask the right questions, it's rough.
Just a question, would you say I was less of a man if I couldn't provide for my family and my wife or my girl was providing?
I wouldn't say you're less of a man, but I would say just figure it out for your own self-esteem, based on how they quote-unquote claim men should be, and you yourself might feel like you're incapable of providing anything else if you think all you should be providing is finances. I definitely think provision is multifaceted. There's a spiritual aspect, there's
this guy, you plan for today.
I just think people reduce provision to finances. That's why a lot of people didn't really like their dads, because they thought their dad would sit with them and he'd be like, I pay for everything, but they wanted his time or they wanted his affection or whatnot. So provision comes in so many facets. You know what I'm saying? So I think once you kind of understand that as a parent or as a man, you might just want to up yourself in it and be the best version of yourself. But that's enough for everyone done.
Audience, any questions for the guys on the stage? I'm going to skip the last question, so you guys are going to give them the questions now. Anyone got any questions?
Any topics you want to raise, anything in general you want to discuss that's going on? The floor's yours now.
So bro, I'm not good with names, but I've watched bare times, so I know your story. Well, not your story, but I know a bit. Cool. So obviously, racist game must have mentioned. So obviously not asking the questions. So
just before you continue, as far as sickle cell is concerned, I'm an open book, so whatever it is.
Okay, so is that, let's say you wanted to date now, you went on a date.
First question.
That's all up.
For me personally, because like Gracious was saying, it's about educating ourselves, and we are data collecting when we're dating. So for me personally, I know like sickle cell has killed off bare of my friends. Literally, I've lost, like I said, up to a few weeks ago, I've lost people, and it's deaded off a lot of people that I know. My personal suffering, like pertaining to things like crying and so many other different things, is deep because of it. So I can't knowingly pass that on to my child. So I've educated myself, and I educate as many people as I can to make sure they're not passing that on. So for me, I'm not selfish enough to afford myself to fall in love and then be like, oh, you carry the sickle cell trait, we can work it out. No, I'm not working that out. That's a deal breaker straight away. So for me, I'm asking straight out of the gate.
And would you take offence if it was the other way round? So let's say you met a woman and then you said to her, I've got sickle cell, and she was like,
if I met a woman and she's got
no, so basically, let's say a woman meets you and you tell her that you've got sickle cell, and then she uses that to say, oh, I'm kind of not interested.
Bro, we've discussed, but I've had literally a woman has told me, and ironically, at the time, she said, verbatim, nobody's ever treated me the way you treat me. However, when I put sickle cell on the table, she's like, I don't have any disease in my family and I'm not bringing it into it. So this is done.
I'm insensitive.
So,
I mean, I'm with you on the whole sickle cell thing. That's always my first question, because I'm a carrier of sickle cell. So if I'm interacting with you, that's my first question I'm going to ask you, if you have the sickle cell trait. Because me and you getting together, that means my kids are going to be full-blown sickle cell, right? My son's already carrying a trait and he got that from me, right? But my partner, she's claiming it. But I've been in a situation whereby one time I was talking to this girl, and because she wanted to be with me so badly, we're both sickle cell carrier, but she still wanted to have a baby together. But that's you punishing the child. That's emotional damage. That's running to the hospital all the time, going through all of that stress. That's not something that you really want to put your kids through.
Listen, on a deeper level, and did you lot see the episode where these lot got on to me about music?
Yeah.
Cool. First and foremost, not cool with it is what it is. Did you see it? Yeah, I haven't watched it, You haven't? I haven't watched it. You know why?
It's the best. It's the best episode.
No, the thing is,
the comments was wonderful.
And listen, I was on Twitter, I was like, where's the edit's got to be? And no, real talk. And Wes was like, no, bro.
I didn't edit shit. I just left everything in there.
Wes was like, no. That's how it needs to be. And some of the feedback was, this was one of the best episodes, and like, it was so real, and I was just like, well, okay. And I had a conversation with my cousin, and it went deep, but I'm going off. First of all, I got a song out on Thursday. It's called Somebody's Daughter. So yeah, make sure you pre-save that and whatever, follow me on the socials. But I have another song that I'm going to put out next month. It's like a cover of God Did, and I touch on a lot of things on there. And it's about sickle cell, basically. And the first line it opens, it's like, for a long time I battled heavy with suicide. And real talk, like I've literally I've been so close to death so many times, and been in situations where, like, doctors have said to my family, yeah, he's gonna die, he's not gonna make it. And thank God I'm still here. And other situations where, like, things that we take for granted as human beings, like, I had to learn how to breathe again and learn how to walk again. You know what I mean? And we don't think about these things. So for me to know all of that and just get with someone willy-nilly and put that on a child, hell
no. Audience, any more questions?
Lighter ones, lighter ones.
Before you wrap it, before you lot, you done your promo. So basically, basically, we're nearly at the benchmark on Facts Only on YouTube. Can everyone please take out their phone, please, and follow us on YouTube, subscribe, please. Follow up on YouTube. If you ain't done it already, before you leave, please. We're nearly there, nearly got the 1K. Yeah? I know everyone in there, you got Gracious K in them, and you got big family. But we're not there yet, we're nearly there, so please, thank you. That's all I'm saying.
Any more questions from the audience, please?
Facts Only, FAX.
3 X's. You lot stop being shy, man. Where's the questions?
I have a question actually. So basically, I was listening to a video with you about opening up your second restaurant and how you hired like a project manager and he ran away with maybe like £19,000. What are the consequences for my
Say no comment, bro.
This is on the internet, by the way.
We'll be talking to be continued.
Yeah. First of all, I'm to blame in the situation. I should have done my due diligence. He serves me some money. I went to his house. Yeah.
Handshake and hug.
Yeah, he serves me some money. But it was my mistake, and I think in anything, there's no such thing as trust. He came through a friend. And a friend said, oh, he's his family friend, he's someone you can trust. I should have done my due diligence and gone to all these other projects first and asked them how did it go. But I took my friend's word. He then started the project, went left, and I've never been like some road man. I've just had friends who went like that. But when you get to my age, you think of prison now. And I can't, if someone owes me that money, ready to go to jail. I'm not ready to go to jail. Nothing you can do. And when I tried to check his company's house stuff, he's not making any money, and he physically doesn't have anything he can take. So I tried to get something of his. So he had a van. But when I went to go and get the van was on finance. So even if I took the van, there's nothing I can do with the van. So I just have to leave the situation alone. So he owes me money, but the saddest thing is that I can't go to jail. And when my younger cousin wanted to go and do something, I then said, what if he goes to jail? So then, nothing I can do, you just have to, yeah, so if someone wants to lend me money,
Go for me, yeah? Next question.
It's actually a masculinity question. For any of you guys, have you ever had a moment where your idea of what a man is or supposed to be hasn't been clear? It wasn't clear, or we always sure this is what a man is supposed to look like?
I think that's forever evolving and changing, especially in the times that we live in, because we've heard from people today where don't cry, it's okay to cry, you get 3 passes a year to cry, you know what I mean? So, and I think as a society we're still kind of figuring that out. Personally, this is why I think. What I will say is I feel it's important to have the right people around you to allow you to figure out who that is, and to have the right people around you who are emotionally intelligent enough to help you find that.
My answer ain't gonna be as deep as that. Basically, I became a father at a young age, innit? So from that day, as soon as the baby came out, I was like, wow, there's another person's life that I've got to look after. So everything from now, every decision I make from now, it's not just on me. So I've got to put all the those stuff behind. I've got to put everything like that behind, because if something goes wrong, this person's life can be potentially ruined because of me. So that was kind of the part where that I thought, yeah, this is what a man's got to do.
You said nothing. What does a man have to do?
Take care of someone else's life, that's what I do that.
That's it.
That's what I do. What else could it be?
That's a good answer because it's relative, isn't it? There's no one definitive answer. It's whatever your unit or the people close to you, whatever type of man they need. I think that's the type of man that situation needs. There's no like blanket answer. I can't tell you how to be the best man you can be.
Whoa there, buddy. Sorry. You just said earlier about a man being at home and not providing that you wouldn't see him as a man. But what if, in that situation you just said, that's what it means to be a man in that situation? Sorry, sir.
If she's got that much money, you're really telling me that's what she needs. She can afford that. She can.
But what if she's saying that, babes, like, I like the situation,
That's
just be at
different
home?
now.
Just be at home.
I reckon that's different.
Is he still a man to you?
To me personally, no.
Why is
Yeah, he
it-
still has penis and balls.
Why
He's
is
still
he-
a man. Yeah, but the type of man that I want at my table of greatness.
But it's the problem now. We keep reducing men to money. But providing, obviously, as Gracious said, you can provide in different facets. You can provide emotionally, spiritually, all of that stuff. But it's almost as if we keep equating what a man is to his finances, his resources.
No, fine. Just having your own and being able to do for yourself, I think that's very important, and it makes you strong. Like, say for example, like you're a gym man. You've been gym, and have you had like your perfect physique?
No.
What, have you been close to it?
Close.
Alright, so didn't that give you like a sense of accomplishment and feel that you can do anything you put your mind to by being able to see something you want and get it? Do you know what I mean?
And I fully agree with that concept, but I just think when it comes to men and finances, we almost keep pushing it to money, and then that's why I think it's a dangerous road to go down when we're all just reduced to money, like just money.
Let
money.
me put it this way.
What can you buy the shoes, buy the
Think
truck?
about the Queen and her husband.
Do you respect him?
But,
Does anybody
no, but
respect
the Queen was the main breadwinner.
I don't even know his name.
No, but that's what I was gonna.
It was Philip.
That's what
I
I
didn't
was
even know
gonna.
that.
That's what I was gonna ask the question. Yeah. So I was basically there's a pastor called Joyce Meyer, I think it is, right? And she's like big time in it, and her husband obviously supports what she's doing. And so I used to basically ask questions like, how does she transition from Joyce Meyer, the big star outside on road, and come home and be Joyce Meyer, the wife, innit? And she says, you know what, like, they made the decision that she was obviously cutting bread and doing this big stuff, and he was gonna be X, Y, Z, but he basically makes everything tick. So, I'm saying in terms of, obviously how we're taught how man them are meant to be, when we hear that he's like a stay-at-home dad or whatever, we don't know how much involvement he might have in
The business.
yeah, making her stuff tick. So I was saying, like, when you see it that way, would you feel some type of way if your hands was in everything, you make everything tick, but she's the G and she goes out, but you're at yard with the youths and...
I'm with that because you're pulling your weight. Because I don't not respect a stay-at-home dad. A man just chilling at home, living off his woman's bank, not doing nothing. I will never respect him.
That man staying at home.
So,
You know what I mean?
so
Just being-
basically, so isn't that kept though? He's looking after the children.
No,
So
but
she
he's-
works,
No, she's looking after him.
by looking after the kids.
You're not less of a man looking after your kids.
Okay, but if he's a stay-at-home dad looking after the kids,
That's respect. I respect that.
But he's
What
kept
if
them,
he's
by the way.
just chilling
but he's
while
kept,
she's at work, eating up all her food,
but he's
all her
kept,
food.
but he's kept, because the money is hers, so he's kept.
No, but he's pulling his weight. He's
he's
providing.
getting
Also, but you said so as long
Is he
as
kept?
of course he's kept.
So I give my daughter's money, mum, every month. Is she kept?
No, but if I have to go to her and say, oh, I want to get a pair of trainers, or I want to get something like the same dynamic when the woman's kept.
How does that feel?
As in to who?
If you have to actually go and ask a
Do you
woman.
know my opinion? I don't think anyone should be kept. In my opinion.
So why are you battling me?
I'd say again.
What are you battling me?
Because we're talking about for a man to do it. You're saying it's okay for a woman. I don't think anyone should be kept. I think everyone should have their own money. Because therefore, you've anything that you're a slave to, you can't negotiate with. And I think you should be in any situation you're in, you should be able to negotiate. And I think when a woman is kept by a man and doesn't have her own salary or earnings, I think there's a shift in the dynamic where she almost feels like she's a slave to this situation if she wants to get out of it. And I'm not talking for all, but I as an adult would never want to be kept. As an adult human being, to think that I've got to say, oh, I want to get a pair of shoes, oh, I want to get something, oh, an allowance. No.
Chicks, you're overthinking.
No, because I don't want to get back into it, pause, because it's just like, you're being hypocrite, because you just said all these extra things, but then it's not acceptable for women.
No, okay. If you're going to say it's okay for a woman, and not okay for a man, that's where the problem lies. It should be okay for both.
We'll have to disagree. I'm not saying that if you're a kept man, you're not a man, but I think in terms of grading.
But you just said, wait, hold on. If you're a kept man, are you a man?
No, but you have dick and balls, of course.
But to what you're saying a man is, you're saying
you're a lesser man. You know what I mean?
What if he's actually looking after the kids in the household?
That's not a lesson, man. You're providing value. You're not being kept. Because if I give my baby my money every month. She's not kept by me.
Baby mom.
She's not. Do you know what I mean? It's for my child.
But we established, you man are going back on.
Do you know what I mean? So if I'm looking after the kids and she's giving me money, I'm not being kept. This is what needs to run and function. It's childcare. It's nursery.
So, Gabriel, I've got a question. If you were a woman that's making a 6-figure salary, and she wants you to stay home and take care of the kids, do the cleaning, the washing, and everything else, would you accept that as a man?
In this life, I will never, there's two things I will never do in this life. I will never live under a woman's roof. Never, ever in my whole entire life. I'd rather go and rent a room in Shropshire, commute back. I would never. And the reason why I would never is this. And this is going to sound very crazy. I'd rather my woman had more respect for me than love for me. And for what I'd rather a woman had more respect for me than love for me.
Oh, okay.
And from what I've seen, it's just my own experiences. When a man is kept, and there's a difference between being kept. So for instance, if I'm moving to a woman's house and I've got my own, it's different. So let's say I've got 3 or 4 yards and it just makes sense to move in here. Of course I would. Because I know I've got somewhere to go. You're not going to disrespect me. I'm not going to come up with my voice and the door's locked. House. And I've had a friend come home and the door's locked. Who? What? What?
You might got curfew.
Remember this. This is your only place to live. You cannot get in.
And she locked him out before.
Because she went out. Basically, he was cheating. He then come back after the rain.
That's it.
No, but still, no. This is my fault. Let me finish. This is my part in this situation. This is my part in the situation. And why is it people should have their own? If I come into that yard, okay, and I'm cheating, and it's your house, you're taking the piss. You're taking the piss anyway. But if you've got your own, even when things are going left and right, you can go back. The brother had nowhere to stay that night.
What was he doing? Bust something?
Nowhere to stay.
Is he bust something?
No, but he hadn't cheated that night. He cheated previously, and what it was, it's a true story. He then came home late. The rain finished at 3. He's maybe come home at 5:30. So as far as, and he didn't cheat that night. As far as she's concerned, I know how long it takes me to get home from there. It's now 5:30. She can open the door. And all of the young boys, I implore you, unless you have your own, do not move into any woman's house. Unless you have your own.
He deserves to be locked out, let's be honest.
And I agree with you, however, that night. Let me get this right, bro. No, let me get this right.
Can I ask a question?
One second, let me get this right.
Answer your
So,
question.
one second. So, I'm a previous cheater. And let's say now, I've gone out to a party, and this night I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating.
Man took a night off, yeah?
I'm banging the door. Guys, please, I beg you, in the name of Jesus. If you do not have your own, my friend, please, go and rent a room. Do not move into any woman's house.
Why is being
And when you think it's only cheating, that causes a power dynamic.
She's gonna have him by the rules forever.
Don't do it to yourselves. I'm sorry. And I've not seen one situation where it's gone well, where a man has been to a woman's house. I have not seen one.
I'm not here to preach. Or young boys and older boys just don't cheat. And you won't get cheating.
Can I ask a question to all the guys in here? Would there ever be a circumstance where you would tell your missus to leave your house if you had a situation?
No children involved. Because two different dynamics.
It depends on the dynamic.
Let's remove children and then let's add children.
Just girlfriend. Oh yeah, plenty of things you can leave.
Okay, so you
I just need you to clarify because I think you're thinking where I'm thinking. I think what he's saying is like, is there a circumstance where, say for example, she's moved in with you, she's cheated, would your reaction be, get out, I'm packing your stuff, get out? Is that, am I right?
Yeah. Alright. Once again, let me use my words wisely. For emotions, I've seen women kick out men for emotional reasons.
Yeah.
Not saying that you can't be a victim and be bullied emotionally. Generally speaking, when I've seen a man kick a woman out of the house, it's been because of infidelity. I've seen women kick out men, not for domestic violence, not for infidelity, but because it's not working.
Because he didn't put the toilet seat.
Yeah, it's not working. And that's fine. And now you're homeless. I don't think I shouldn't even laugh. But I know guys that technically been out there homeless. You need to have your own, and it's just not a man thing, it's in general. People should sort themselves out in general. Because when you can't negotiate, you're a slave to whatever situation you're in.
Facts.
And I've been homeless when I was younger. My mum kicked me out. And that feeling, a lot of the stuff I talk about is my own trauma growing up. And there's certain things that I can't let happen to me again. And I can't be in a woman's house. Or even a guy's house. Like it's wherever it is.
You just don't feel comfortable.
No, you have to have your own.
Yeah.
And too many people lock up with each other because they're looking for a crutch. And then the woman can't leave because the brother's a crutch. Or he can't leave. Have your own. And if you can't rent a room, have your own autonomy. Rent a room. Even if it means you're in some room in Shropshire paying 5 bills, it's your room. It's your box.
What has Shropshire done to you?
Don't, guys, I can't stress it. I beg you. Even if it means having a room, don't move into no woman's house. I think sometimes men, we want to be the guy that could look after everything financially. And maybe in this day and age, I don't know how realistic that is to be able to take care of home, children, and a woman with what society is earning now. So the question I pose to you, Hans, is that as we're talking about what it is to be a man, and I think sometimes we use the 2 P's, protect and provide. Would you say that you would deem yourself less of a man
if I couldn't provide?
If you couldn't provide?
Yeah, because it goes back to watching my dad. That's all he done. Because I didn't grow up with my mum, I grew up with him. So that's all he done was provide. So I wanted to follow suit. If I couldn't do those things for my son, then yeah, I wouldn't feel like a man.
And would you say that that's what might cause the imbalance sometimes when it comes to men and family life? Well, I think one big issue that I can only talk from my anecdotal experience is that often women do moan about the time men used to work, as in you're always working. And I don't know anything else but work. I don't know, and I've come from a poor background, and I think part of my trauma is that I don't want to ever go back there. And I've seen the abuse, and I don't blame my mum, but I saw the abuse my mum gave my dad for not being able to earn. And her having to be on survival mode for the longest, which meant she couldn't be feminine. And a lot of times when you, and not talking for all women, sometimes when you meet women who are a bit tough or a bit hard, you have to think where they come from. And my mum was very hard, because you know, my mum and dad would both go to work. My dad would come home before my mum and expect food to be made. Now, he's from Nigeria, we come from Nigeria, so that's the typical thing. You cook as a woman, but if you've both gone to work and you've come home first,
He went
I'm joking. But I do think there's an issue with women who can't cook, though. I will say that.
Wow. Would you say men too who can't cook?
I couldn't cook for a long time, but what my story always was, when I can't afford to feed myself, I learned to cook. And then that lasted about 20-something years. I'm quite proud.
But that then goes to gender roles kind of thing, and I'm, because I've seen what, I was going to talk from my own household. I saw my mum and my dad battle and do WWF in the house because of money. Because, you know, my dad, and the problem is that certain countries you can come into the UK and use your degree, whereas a Nigerian degree is like a Harry Potter book. It doesn't have any value, it doesn't have any value. So imagine my dad is an engineer in Nigeria, but he can't use an engineer's degree here. So he started doing mini cabin. And the problem with that was that the money wasn't enough. So my mum...
It's chauffeuring.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's a chauffeur, but that's him as a chauffeur, to people who ask.
Technically,
Yeah, it was mini cabin, but you call it chauffeur to make it sound, you dress it up.
what's the difference?
I think the difference is...
Well, how do you dress?
Yeah, I think I guess it's the same thing, but with the... And the car. And the car. I think with the balance in the conversation, my dad was working round the clock, but as you said, what he was earning for what he was working wasn't enough. And my mum used to always complain that you're working all of these hours, there's nothing. And I think that's taught me now as a man, and it's caused me problems because all I do is graft. Like, when a woman wants to lay in the bed and sleep in the whole day, I'm like,
We can do that. We'll just be poor.
like, woman can't hug the bills.
When you was talking about sharing the bills, yeah, as in with kids, obviously there's mother of children and there's baby mom. You don't know what baby mom is.
No, there's the same thing. What do you mean?
No. You don't know what baby mom is.
Why? What's the
You
problem
know what
with the
it is.
terminology?
One is toxic, one isn't. As in, toxic earlier.
My baby mom's not toxic.
Yeah, because you've got one, it's fine. I've got more than one. Yeah.
And what, they're all toxic?
No.
How many?
Enough.
How many is enough? How many is enough?
Less than 10.
It's got to be
Future.
kids.
I know. But obviously, certain times, when you've got the mum of your children, you lot don't mind splitting stuff. When you got the baby mum, that's when it gets toxic. Ask your dad, ask this, ask that. That's when things go a bit left on what you were saying earlier. You know what I'm saying? You get me?
I just love spending money on my child.
Yeah, you got one.
And that's why I only have one, because that's all I can afford.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Because once the kids outnumber the parents, that's scary. That's scary. More than 2 kids.
I love chicks, you know.
More than 2 kids. Imagine they gang up on you. That's a lot, bro. Not more than 2 at a time under 18.
It's not difficult, man. It's not.
It is.
It's not. It's not. It's not even about the money, it's about the time.
Could they sort of beat you up yet?
Never.
Yes.
No.
I believe you can.
I believe you can still.
He's too scared of me.
If we grabbed you first,
the fear. Like, we all got to that stage we know we could beat up our dad. He ain't there.
Just a fight. Just a regular fight. I think he's
We're
punching
just talking about sharing responsibilities.
No, I'm just saying. I didn't ask the question.
I'm sorry, guys.
I think your son could like punch you up. I'm
What
just
is
saying.
this? You got another question? No, but on a serious note, like, sharing responsibilities when it comes to kids is serious when you've got a baby and you've got kids, like I said, because
what's the difference, please?
one's toxic, one isn't. And that spirals onto the child, which is sad to say, but I've got a shit relationship with my daughter, and with my other children, it's perfectly fine. That's due to the mums. That's not even down to me.
So you use baby mum as a derogatory term, basically.
100%.
So you're part of the problem.
How?
You are.
You are. There's nothing wrong with baby mum. There's just, it's wording. You're my baby's mum. Why are we just putting a negative connotation?
I think what a lot of parents need to evaluate in terms of their relationships with, you know, the significant other being the other parent is, you know, how much they're really about the betterment of the child. And I know it sounds harsh and perhaps maybe easier to say because I'm not in the same situation, but I feel like if you can have a common goal for the betterment of your child, be it educationally or whatever, I feel like if you're able to meet and marry on those things, then it creates a bit of a better environment. But like I said, obviously I'm outside of the situation. I feel like me growing up how I grew up, and you know, looking at some of my friends and some of my family and their situations when they grew up, I just feel like it's clear to see the differentials and the benefits of when the parents, regardless of their issues, be it they come from a single parent home or not, I feel like it's evident to see where the parents had the children's best interests at heart.
Ladies, would you split the bills 50-50 with your other half?
So bare sour faces.
What if you were the main bread? What if you were the main breadwinner? What if you had to split 70-30? That's no problem.
Just a quick one. Sorry, this lady, because your face it did something. Just maybe it was the lights. Now this is a true scenario. So you mentioned 70-30. Now, if you're earning, let's say he's earning, I don't know, say you're earning 60 grand, and let's say 70-30 is him maybe earning 35 or 40 grand. You're clearly earning more. Would you go as far as saying that because you earn more, that you should take the more share responsibility of the bills? Because that would be fair, because you seem like a very honest woman, very caring and humanitarian, a great member of her community.
I've never heard you big on anyone this much.
That's what you appear to be. I could be wrong. I don't mind being wrong. You appear to be that person. So I'm judging by how you are and how modest you look. Proverbs 31. No, I'm just wondering, if you are earning 70% more than him, is it fair to say that you would say, you know what, babes, where I'm earning that much more than you, I'm going to pay 70% of the bills and you can pay 30%. That's what you would do, wouldn't you?
I would.
Oh, that's
I think if we're trying to build together, then that would be the sensible thing to do. There'll come a time when you're earning either the same as me or more.
No, let's say that time isn't coming.
Okay, but
so he's happy. He's in his job now. He's happy in his job. This is his dream.
Okay, that's his happiness.
Yes.
Okay, then yeah.
And you will take the brunt of the financial responsibility.
I have no problem with that.
And is that the same for the women in here?
No.
Huh? Just checking. Is that the same?
No.
Hands up if it's the same.
The lady, you're shaking your head.
Be honest.
If
Is your neck hurting as well? Is that what you're shaking? I was wondering.
If I'm earning 60k, I want to know what you're doing so you can match my salary so we can live financially able.
But why does he have to match if he's happy? He's happy. He works in Iceland. He's happy.
That means the bulk of everything's on me. I don't think the bulk of everything's be on him, but we need to be sharing the responsibility. I don't want to have to carry you.
You know that saying, happy wife, happy life, yeah? Why can't it be the same for the man? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? As men, we're finished. We're finished. All responsibilities on us. We have to get a better job. We have to upgrade our life to suit our woman's needs.
Well, then get a side hustle, do something.
I agree with you still. You know, stop ganging up on a woman.
So now she goes to jail. Now she goes to jail. Get a side hustle.
But she's right though. Why should she not want to be with a man who's ambitious and wants to
Because I'm happy. I'm happy working in Iceland.
Why should she be with a man who's not ambitious and doesn't want more for himself?
I'm happy.
What? If you met him and he was working in Iceland?
Stop helping him.
No, wait.
Why is she wrong for wanting to be with a man that's ambitious and wants better for himself?
Happiness comes first. Yeah. Look after number one. You can't look after nobody else. I'm looking after myself. I'm happy with it.
So if she decides to pick up and leave and go elsewhere, is she wrong?
Yes.
How?
Because you met me working there and I was happy.
And she expected you to want to upgrade yourself.
Let the lady answer.
Okay,
It goes back to your original thing about trying to build someone.
And
Yeah.
So he's earning 30, she's earning 60, and then I feel pregnant. So 3 months I'm on full salary, then there's no money. Are you going to be able to
Are you going to be able to cover all of our bills, our mortgage, whatever, on your 30k salary without my 60k?
And this is what I talk about, the pressure that men are on financially in general. This is like, you don't have your own pressures, and I would never ever want to undermine what it is to rear a child. Just even holding a child or pushing a child, that is serious stuff. The pressure that men are on financially to have to keep up with this, it's not very easy.
Sorry to interject here. To go back to your jewelry analogy of accountability, yeah? Don't bring up pressures then. Because you're letting external things pressure you. That's not right. Be accountable, be irresponsible and controllable. Don't let outside things influence you.
But
these pressures are not, you don't have to take them upon yourself.
Okay, but if you're trying to have a family, and as you mentioned,
you can't afford her.
As in you can't afford to have a family.
No, you can't afford her.
But I'm talking in general. Because in general, to even meet a woman and to decide you want to have children, she's going to go on maternity leave. Okay, and you need to sit there as a man and say, can my salary support this? Because as I said, this lady's saying if she's
What,
only
in the
60.
UK?
Say again?
In
Well,
the
I think you can sign.
universal
You can sign on if you want to do
You know how easy
that.
it is, you know how cheap it is to get pizza. It's easy, you know.
It is, but I think I don't think any of us want to do that. I'm gonna say none of us men want to do that.
I pay for my kids. So wait, why is it funny then for her man to only pay 30% of the bills then? Why is that?
I don't rate that at all.
You don't?
Yeah. No. Okay, cool. So we agree.
So as far as you're concerned, the man should be the provider.
Yeah.
And if she's having to take the sheer responsibility of the financial strain, then he's not saying he's not a man, but like
He's not a man's man.
Yeah.
this is, and look, as much as okay, in my head I agree with you. In my head, this is part of the problem.
Don't men use
It goes
their
back to
head,
the
don't
first
use
bit.
their heart.
Toxic.
Well, it's part of the problem.
What is toxic to want more?
No, but the pressures on yourself is toxic. Because instantly you don't want to laugh there. When he paused for a moment, you don't want to laugh, but you all kind of pause for a moment.
That's part of the problem.
That's the problem.
Don't you think we're just like making it easier for men to be less?
Yes.
What in regards?
Because you know what? Yeah, I got a sister who went private school and she's a journalist, and I got a cousin who's a criminal there. And my dad used to
I like how you think that one
talking about my life. So, in comparison to my cousin who's a criminal, who's in and out of jail, I was amazing. But in comparison to my sister who went private school as a journalist, I was a failure. So what I used to always do with my dad is say, oh, but what about my cousin when he used to have a go at me? But then when he said, why don't you compare yourself to your sister then? Do you get what I mean?
You know, it's funny about the criminal thing as well. Like African families, they want everyone to go like the route of going university, blah blah blah. Then I had a cousin who was like a super criminal, but to the family, he was the golden child, and no one knew what he was up to apart from the rest of us. So he's getting the praise. Oh, did you see what? He just done. You know what? His mommy Benz. I'm thinking to myself, bro. You know what I mean? So even I'll give you the funniest example. This is like probably like 20 years back. I'm watching Crime Watch now. And my auntie's there cussing. She's like, look at this stupid boy. He's there, shooting his gun and blah, blah, blah. So my aunt's there talking about all of this, yeah? And I've gone out the room, gone to the kitchen, and I phoned my cousin, and I said, don't talk, I just laughed at it. And he goes, what are you laughing at? I said, you know I'm laughing at. What was on TV just now? He's like, shh. I said, rah, you're the golden boy to the family.
And that was him?
Yeah, that was him. So like, fast forward, when he's gone jail now a couple times, everyone's looked like, rah, you lot went the bad ones. He was the real, you know what I mean? But it comes down to what people see in the family. Like, they'll see like, alright, this one's the money man, he's providing, blah, blah, blah. But the pressures of what he had from when he was young, he thought, this is what I need to do to, you know what I mean?
Do any men in here feel that you're less of a man if you can't provide for the family? That you're not a man? I just want to raise a hand if you feel that that guy is not a man. So basically, if I'm a house husband, you kind of see me as a bit of a less of a man if she's a breadwinner.
I think you're a neat still, yeah.
Big up yourself.
Isn't part of being able to look in the situation in the house and say, if my wife is a six-figure earner and she's making the money, am I not a man for staying at home and saying, do you know what, the best situation for us as a dynamic is for me to be at home and take care of that, and maybe work from home, maybe, while she's out there working.
Are you going to start washing her underwear by hand?
I'm going to answer. First, I'm just going to say I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for anyone. So I'm not
speaking for me too.
But I'll be honest here. I don't understand how you can grow up as being a man and want to be provided for.
And man, you know.
I'm too young to think about taking care of the family and all that.
SugarMummy.com.
But I've grown up in a thing of I need to get this. I need to make bread. I need to be able to. Right now, take girls out, you know, do that sort of stuff. I can't be going around saying, oh yeah, she just came and picked me up in her car and took me out and spent bread on me. Like, no, I feel like shit.
What are you saying? She got one hand in your fight?
I have an argument and she tells us to take off the shoes. Take off the shoes out of the car. Walk home barefoot.
Walk home.
It's it's like I feel like society now is like it's trying to make us, as you said, we.
So what, you don't let me take you out? No wonder.
No, like if I'm driving, so I'm cool with that. I don't mind that.
All the time.
No, all the time is there. No, it's impossible.
If I know I can do it.
No, but I'm saying if I'm not driving,
dog dashboard pappy.
I would do that though. I would do that if I've got that car though. If I've got that, I would never speak to a girl that's.
But she got a better car than you.
I don't know if that's me being insecure, but I wouldn't talk to a girl that's got more bread than me. I wouldn't talk to her. Even if she's feeling me, I wouldn't speak to her.
Why?
Because I can't do what I want to do for her because she's got more than me.
But you know, like, see, like footballers' wives, you know, they cheat with men that are less.
I know that. Guys right now that are, doing F, the girls still cheat with guys that aren't doing F. Like, it's still now. But I'm just saying that I cannot be that guy that is in my girl's car. She's taking me out. She's buying me clothes, but I'm buying her.
So if your close friend was that guy, would you say, "Wow, big"?
I tell him, bro, you're wet, bro. Like, grow up, bro.
You're soggy.
Like, you can't be that. You can't be like that.
And this is, as much as I want to agree with everything, once again, no.
Hey, you know my thoughts on that. I always say to Gabriel that I don't get horny unless I'm making money.
This once again though is part of the problem. Problem? And I tell you what the problem is this. When you built your whole identity and everything on being a man and being able to make money and provide, there's a reason why a lot of men in a certain age bracket, being around the age of 38 to 43, end up doing themselves.
But why are you going for girls that are richer than you, better positioning? Why are you going for
So basically, your whole value, and now I'm not even sitting on the fence, so your whole value is determined on your money.
My value?
So you've got no other skills, no other traits to acquire women apart from money.
I feel like money is a huge factor in terms of the whole topic of taking care of a family.
Let me ask you a direct question.
Yeah.
So you feel as that you need, if a woman's got more money than you, or appears to have more money than you, that unfortunately you feel that she's not someone that you should be talking to because she's got more bread than you.
Yeah.
What do you think about these?
And so you think, one second, so you think your money is the only thing you maybe believe that would make her interested in you?
Dude, it is. I could be the perfect guy for her, but I'm saying because of how I am, you could use the word insecure, but I would feel like less. I'll just feel less like, oh, right, she's actually doing better than me.
And it's insecure. And one thing, you done something there. Society would view it that way as well, not just him viewing himself that way. That's how society views it. Do you know what I mean?
So if you got more peas than the gal,
yeah,
are you gonna naturally look down on her? Are you gonna be telling her?
No, that's not ambitious. Men are not out here for women's money.
Exactly. It's different between men and women. Sorry.
He was done though.
So like, are you gonna tell her to be more ambitious to make your kind of bread, or are you gonna let her work as her?
This is what I feel like men need to start doing. I'm just talking about guys that maybe marriage. I feel like men should also want a girl that's doing well. But like, obviously, just make sure.
But not better than you.
You know, it is like if I start off doing better than her, she ends up doing better than me. Like that's cool, but I started off in a position where I was like, yeah, I can do what I need to do for her. You get me?
And this all stems from being a kept man. So if he's got his own, he's not a kept man. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. And then again, it's just logical because if I pass away and I just got some whatless woman who can't do nothing, how's my pitney gonna do? Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. So if you're doing better than a woman, and if she does better than you, you're happy to stay with her?
I'm happy to stay with her, but I won't be happy in that position. I will need to.
Because you're ambitious.
So what if you're stuck? You're in a good job. You're stuck where you are. You can't make more money than you're making already.
Leave the job.
If I can't
so
make
now
money,
you got to upgrade your life again. But you was happy before.
If you want more.
But I don't feel like you can. I feel like some people can't get to that stage where they're just. This may be bad, yeah, but they're just content being at that level. I feel like there's always people that are trying to chase, get bigger. Do you get it? So like, I don't know which celebrity I can use, but they're always chasing more. Like, there's no rapper that stops and just stops doing anything. Do you get it? They're always trying to build more. Like Jay-Z's still working, he's still building, and he's what, a billionaire. Do you get it? So it's like, why would you be just cool? You're just there. Like, yeah, I'm cool. I've made this bread. I'm cool. It don't make sense to me personally. So that's why I'm like, if she's doing better than me, if I start doing better than her, she gets over me. I'm trying to get over her.
It's like a kind of competition then, basically.
In my head it is. In reality, I'm not going to say nothing like that. I'm still going to do what I need to do.
So if you try to overtake her again, and you're unsuccessful in doing that, then what? You gonna break up with her because?
No, wait, as in like I tried once.
No. Because what you said before is if she surpasses you, then you got to up the levels again, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so if you try to up the levels again,
yeah,
and you're not successful in doing so, let's say it's been 18 months, yeah?
Yeah.
You're still doing very well, just not as good as her.
Yeah.
Then according to what you said, you're no longer good enough for that woman, is that correct? If you don't agree, then you're contradicting yourself.
No, I don't think it's a contradiction personally, but I feel like it's just a thing of, in my mind,
Check it, let me, because let's say now you split, yeah? According to what you said earlier, that woman wouldn't even be on your radar because she's out earning you.
Yeah. And I understand what you're saying.
So then if she surpasses you,
yeah,
and you can't get to the next level,
yeah,
then are you gonna stick it out or are you done?
For me, I'm just gonna, if I feel like
it's an evil one still.
I'm gonna answer.
No, don't let him bamboozle his question.
Say what you're saying. I know what you're trying to get at, but I'm taking stuff you didn't say and using it against you. No, I understand.
You never said you were gonna meet. You said you wouldn't be with a woman who, if you meet her, she has.
If I meet her and she's got fun,
meet her and then she exceeds, why would you leave her?
I'm not gonna leave her because I'm still doing what I need to do. Do you get it?
Stop ganging up on the
I
ambitious flow.
But
wants more money.
I don't like the thing
There's nothing wrong with that.
A woman should be taking care of me the whole 70-30, she's paying more than me. I just feel like
I
I'm
hear that, but I'm saying separately.
Situation that don't make sense.
Separately, when she gets to a point where she surpasses you,
yeah,
and you're still doing very well for yourself,
yeah,
if you can't match her or surpass her again, what happens?
I entered that situation with me taking care of stuff. So I'm still taking care of stuff. She's just surpassed me. As they say, I think this is a bit wet as well, but her money's her money, my money's our money together. So I'm still doing what I need to do.